is KVUE News Daybreak.
Terror strikes London yet again. A van plowing into pedestrians as worshippers leave a mosque. The mayor calling it, without a doubt, a terror attack. What witnesses are saying about the incident.
And under investigation or not, what President Trump's attorneys are now saying about obstruction of justice claims, despite President Trump's very own tweets.
And cracking down on drunk drivers, what Governor Greg Abbott has now signed into law for first-time offenders. Good Monday morning, and thank you for joining us for KVUE News Daybreak. It's 5 a.m. I'm Brian May.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. Yep, it's Monday, June 19th. You had a good Father's Day?
It was a nice Father's Day, no doubt about it.
Well, the weather, Eric, I know there wasn't much you could do about it. It was hot, but it was good pool weather.
Yeah, it definitely was. We didn't have much to affect your outdoor plans in terms of any rain shower activity. It was just hot out there, so hopefully you were able to cool down. It's on the warm side this morning, not unbearable. We've had worse. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s across the viewing area, 77 right now in Austin, 73 for Pflugerville, and also hanging on to the mid to lower 70s across our eastern counties, 75 in Giddings. There's some rain shower activity just north of us. Stalled out frontal boundary is making its way a little bit further down south, but as for us here, just a lot of cloud coverage. We do have a 20% chance of a possible shower that may activate this morning and into this afternoon because of the frontal boundary north of us. We'll keep a close eye on that, but as for the start of your morning, it's not looking too bad. Anavid has the latest on traffic. How are things shaping up this Monday morning?
Pretty calm for the most part. Thank you, Erica. Good morning. This is a look at I-35 at 51st Street, provided by your TechStock cameras here. You can see the roads are open and clear. That is the major trend for most of the Austin metro area. There is an accident we are watching here. This is just south of Barton Creek Square. This crash is on Rab Road at Norris Drive. So this crash is not blocking at this time. So just be aware. No major alternate routes to talk about. And just a crash, minor crash, no major blockage here. So back to you guys at the desk.
Anavid, thanks. All new this morning, a U.S. Navy fighter jet has shot down a Syrian fighter jet. This happened yesterday over Syria. Officials say the jet had dropped bombs on Syrian rebel forces fighting ISIS. The incident marked the first time an American aircraft has shot down another country's aircraft in air-to-air combat since 1999. The U.S.-led coalition said in a statement that its focus is on fighting ISIS and not fighting the Syrian regime or Russian forces, but says it will not hesitate to defend partner forces coming under attack. Breaking news once again from London. This time a group of Muslim worshippers targeted. Muslims were leaving a mosque. A van plowed into the crowd on a sidewalk. Witnesses say the driver did it on purpose, and police now say the incident is being treated as a terrorist attack. At least one person was killed at the scene. Several others injured. ABC's Molly Hunter reports the man who was behind the wheel is now in custody.
Overnight, another chaotic scene in London.
It went like hysterical. I can't even describe how I was just running around.
Police descending on a mosque after a vehicle ran over nearly a dozen people. Witnesses saying the van turned down a one-way street and accelerated, plowing into a crowd of worshippers who were just leaving evening prayers, with just 1 week left in the holy month of Ramadan.
Basically drove on the pavement, coming straight towards all the Muslims.
Now here's the police cordon. We can't go any further than this, but it's just behind there. That white van turned onto a one-way street before plowing through people in front of a mosque. This man says it was a deliberate act, and the man under arrest was targeting Muslims.
At the beginning, he was saying, where's all Muslims? I want to kill all Muslims.
And these dramatic moments, bystanders wrestling the subject from the van, holding him down until police arrived. He is 48 years old, and eyewitnesses describe him as a white man with an English accent.
Whatever happened there was done in a very vindictive way. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't that the person was drunk and the van went out of control.
This is being treated as a terrorist attack, and the Counter-Terrorism Command is investigating.
The Mayor of London calling it a horrific terrorist attack. It comes just weeks after a van veered into pedestrians on the London Bridge, setting off vehicle and knife attacks that killed 8 people and wounded many more. 3 Muslim extremists who carried out that attack were killed at the time by police. Everyone who witnessed last night's attack said it was without a doubt a terrorist attack. The anger here this morning still palpable. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
And this morning, we now know the names of the 7 sailors killed when a U.S. destroyer collided with a Philippines merchant vessel. One of those sailors, 26-year-old Noe Hernandez, is from Weslaco. The Navy's 7th Fleet said searchers found the bodies after the guided missile destroyer returned to its base in Japan. The collision happened Saturday morning while many of the crew members slept. The container ship plowed right into the crew's living quarters, giving them just minutes to escape and save the ship.
They had to fight the ship to keep it above the surface, so it was traumatic. This was a severe emergency, but the ship's crew was swift and responsive, and I can't tell you how proud I am of the crew for what they did to save the ship.
The area where the ships crash into one another sees heavy maritime traffic. 400 to 500 vessels cross it daily.
This morning, the congressman who was shot during a baseball practice in Washington, D.C. last week is improving. Doctors have upgraded House Majority Whip Steve Scalise's condition from critical to serious. The Louisiana congressman is awake and speaking with loved ones. He was wounded during that shooting at a congressional baseball practice outside of Washington, D.C. back on Wednesday of last week. Texas Congressman Roger Williams set to speak here in Austin today about that shooting. KVUE's Corey Coffin joins us now live from the Capitol with what we may expect to hear today. Corey?
A very good morning to you, Brian. Now, Williams hurt his ankle while running for cover, and one of his staffers, Zach Barth, was hit in the leg by one of those bullets as well, but he's doing okay. The congressman talked about the ordeal over the weekend while he was in Fort Worth. He says he's thankful for the police officers who responded quickly and prevented the situation from getting worse. It's an experience he won't soon forget.
I was hitting ground balls on the third base side to our third baseman, Trent Kelly, and little did I know at that time that the perpetrator was probably 20 yards behind me.
Now, as he described the moments of terror that followed, Congressman Williams said he and Barth actually hid in the dugout, holding one another as Barth also held his leg. Police believe the gunman, alleged to be James Hodgkinson, targeted Republicans specifically, but Williams said he believes Hodgkinson had severe personal issues. Williams has since said that he's working with Democrats on the Hill to bring more peace to politics moving forward. He'll be speaking here at the Capitol at 1 p.m. about that whole ordeal, and of course we'll be covering it on air and online. Guys, back to you.
Corey, thank you. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a new law designed to prevent drunk driving. House Bill 3016 provides new incentives for convicted drunk drivers to get an ignition interlock device on their vehicle if they plan on driving during the license suspension period following their arrest. If they successfully use the device for 6 months, they can apply for a one-time non-disclosure and have the DWI removed from their record. The law gives first-time drunk drivers with a .08 to .14 blood alcohol concentration a second chance. Only offenders who have not caused injury or property damage are eligible to apply.
5:08, and a manhunt is underway this morning for the gunman who shot and killed a 17-year-old in New Braunfels. It happened late Saturday night. Police say they responded to a call about a shooting and a possible disturbance. When they arrived, they found the victim, identified as Conrad Kuntz, suffering from a gunshot wound. Medics tried to revive the 17-year-old, but he died from his injuries.
He wasn't responding, and I shook his chest, and I kept telling him to squeeze my hand if he could hear me. He wasn't saying anything. He wasn't even responding at all.
Police are offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to the gunman. And this week, President Trump is expected to speak on the possible White House tapes on former FBI Director James Comey. And that's according to one of his lawyers, who is also hoping to clear the air on whether the president is actually under investigation. But the president and his team are sending mixed messages. On Friday, President Trump tweeted, "I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director." Witch hunt. Well, yesterday, Trump's lawyer appeared unable to clear up the confusion.
And now he's being investigated by the Department of Justice.
You've now said that he is being investigated after saying that you didn't.
No.
You just said,
no, he's
sir,
not being
that
investigated.
you just said that he's being investigated.
I do not appreciate you putting words in my mouth when I've been crystal clear that the president is not and has not been under investigation. I don't think I could be any clearer than that.
Well,
Huh? I'm confused. Despite growing concerns, the president may move to fire the special counsel or his bosses at the Justice Department. Republican Senator Marco Rubio insisted the investigation should run its course.
More than 80 million people at risk of severe weather from the plains to New England and triple-digit heat in the west. Check it out here. On Sunday, hard-hitting hail, shattering windshields in Missouri, and in Kansas, heavy rain and 70-mile-an-hour winds taking down trees there, swamping roadways and knocking out power to over 80,000 homes. The same wave of storms dumped hail the size of tennis balls in Nebraska. Meanwhile, the Southwest in the midst of a dangerous heat wave. American Airlines warning travelers the extreme heat could ground flights out of Phoenix this week. Temperatures there expected to hit 120 degrees. That is hot. It was hot here over the weekend, and another hot week ahead. Erica Lopez joins us now with a forecast.
That's right. We had feel-like temperatures at 110 degrees across isolated spots of our viewing area, but a cool down is headed our way. Not a major one, but we will get a break from those triple-digit temperatures. That's because of this frontal boundary that's pushing through North Texas right now. It's going to stall out just north of us, but it will still manage to give us some north winds. That'll be a drier, slightly cooler air mass. But for today, we do have a 20% chance of showers as that frontal boundary gets closer to us. For today, just a partly sunny start to our morning, but notice the 20% chance of showers continues through the evening. Highs topping out at 95, so we get a break from triple-digit temperatures. It's still going to feel like the triple digits, but just on the lower side. By late morning into the mid to upper 90s, early afternoon, here we are. It's going to feel like about 100 degrees or so. We've had worse, that's for sure. But we're also talking some cooler temperatures lasting the next couple of days, and also activity across the tropics could spark up some rain shower chances. I'm going to take a look at your tropical forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much. Well, still ahead, a central Texas town concerned about their drinking water.
That's right. The letter they received from their utility company and the impact one mom says it's having on her child.
And a lot of people spend part of their summer on a boat, but there may be something most of you are unaware of. The danger on boating docks officials want you to pay attention to.